My heart's not really in this, but I got to make a comment on 911. Dr. Judy Woods. Pretty trippy stuff in it for those of you that study it up. 25,000 plus feet of steel girders, some 5 inches thick with 5-inch steel slabs in the middle, 22 by 36 or 22 by 52 inch. Some 4-inch thick walls with 4-inch slabs of steel in them, 52 by 22 or 22 by 36. Some 2 inches thick. It's 25,000 plus feet of steel missing. One of the first things that made me worry after, because I always thought it was thermite, I was told thermite went into the building as it was constructed back in the 70s, and I was told that in the 70s, that the buildings, the towers, would be taken down in a act of state-run false flag terror by someone that would know. And I always figured it was going to go ahead. I was told about it at various times over the years. I had a source, what do you call it, I'm not sure which end of the horse it was, the horse's mouth or the horse's ass, but I was told back in the 70s the towers would be taken down in an act of state treason to, first off, just to get more control of the country, and then later to they wanted to do a bit of a gold rort. Well, they've succeeded. Some say 150 billion, some say a whole lot more of gold switched, swapped, stolen, call it what you will. Anyway, one of the first things that worried me in the weeks after, specifically days after, was one construction worker, a steel worker. He was on site, right on the, this is on the national television, he was right on the site, and he was saying, where's all the steel? If the buildings fell, which I can't believe they did, where's all the steel? 25,000 plus feet of steel missing. And I got a little bit concerned because I thought I knew what was going on. I thought it was the thermite. Whether there was planes or whether there wasn't planes, I thought the buildings fell because of the thermite. There's no way a fucking raging fire, which it wasn't, it was a black smoke fire, but there was no way a raging fire 700 feet up could weaken the steel enough 200 feet above it or 500 feet below it to just turn into powder. Dr. Judy Woods uses the term dustify. Can't happen. So anyway, here's this New York steelworker. He's on the WTC site a couple of days after, and he's saying, I don't understand. Where's the steel? Another person said, where's the steel? Where's the buildings? There should be 1 million tons of concrete here. And one of the first things that stuck out was the official story saying, the rubble had fell into the basements. I don't know where they got that story from. It must be a neurolinguistic phrase, if you ask me. And then one trick guy did the best that he could. He got into, I think, 3 of the basements underground and took photos. Empty space. There was no rubble in there. So there's about 1 million tons of rubble missing, 25,000 feet of steel missing, and America's intelligence missing. And basically, behind the scenes, the thing they tell you now is it's so dangerous, so fascist, so uber secret that everybody's got to go along with the old official lie. But it's a lie. It's a dangerous lie because they're facing another false flag, black op. We are. The world is. I live in Melbourne, by the way, and the same person that told me the thermite went into the towers And it probably did. There are some 45-degree cuts in the steel at places that just can't happen other than slow burn thermite. Anyway, the towers fell. So did Building 7. A fire? Again, on the media, in the weeks after, there was some genuine media people, but some of those media people said that they started getting witnesses from the towers, and they reported a couple of days beforehand there was a massive delivery of pallets, and they were placed at all floors. This you can go back, those of you who bothered to record, and somebody would have recorded all of this almost 24/7 media coverage on all of the towers. Those of you that did remember, some of us don't take our information from the internet. We watch all sources: media, live interviews, internet, radio. On the television in the weeks after, there was a couple of witnesses that said that there were a massive number of deliveries of sealed pallets placed at all levels, at all parts of the building. Now, some people, again on the media, on the public television, said they were transponder transceiver units. Basically, transponders and transceivers to locate and generate some sort of what Judy Woods would have called a directed energy source. There is no other way to explain the fall of those towers, because there's nowhere in the world that a single fire could weaken steel 200 feet below it. Remember, this steel was sealed in insulation for the first time in history. There's 25,000 feet of steel missing. So whether there were planes or whether there weren't planes, most people say there might have been one plane at the second building, but they still couldn't find the engines. They couldn't find nothing. Couldn't find the landing gear. They reckon they found it blocks away, but it was in different places, in different photos. There's 25,000 feet of steel missing. Dr. Judy Woods got the right thing. It was directed energy, but it wasn't some space laser, and it wasn't what you call it wasn't that freaking big C-31 or whatever it was, BC-10 whatever, flying overhead. Wouldn't like that. It's got something to do with your HARP technology, and even though I don't understand the technology, that weird storm that was hanging around, they've created some sort of, I don't really understand, but evidently what I was told was those transponders set up a field in the buildings that basically weakened all the molecular bonds, and over a period of 40, 50, 60 minutes. That's why the people inside said they were cooking, even those that weren't on the level of a fire. And it's already been on the media, right? Don't worry about what they tell you on the internet. If you can't remember back to the media on the 3 weeks, on the television and radio on the 3 weeks after, you don't know shit. If you haven't got a full recall of all of the witnesses' statements, you don't know anything. You're just relying on spin, on an official story, which is a pack of lies. Anyway, they reckon that these transponders set up a field that weakened the molecular structure, and when the field was progressively dropped in, I don't know the technology. Judy Woods might, but she's not talking anymore. Not really. Well, I haven't heard her anyway. They set up this field with these transponders that were developed. They called them crates of Coca-Cola or crates of printer ink. Crap. They wouldn't let anybody near them. They wouldn't let them be unsealed. Created this field, and when they collapsed the field 40, 50 minutes later, the whole building fell. This was an inside job from start to finish. William Vanstone, Osama on the television from 97 to 04, he didn't have access to that technology. Thank you.